Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. As we film this, it's transfer deadline day. So I'm going to keep an eye on the news feed as we go through in case anything happens. But Wednesday are usually pretty quiet. And I've said that now.
I can confirm that I signed an extra season-long loan to the podcast.
Oh, you have? You have indeed.
Yeah.
We're keeping you for at least another season before you absolutely infuriate me completely. And we sack you off. But as long as you don't refuse to take a penalty in the playoffs, then I'll spend 10 million on you as well, Jake.
Oh, that's so nice.
It is weird being in a transfer window where we're not linked with Jordan Rhodes.
Yeah, can you imagine it? Like if it did happen, like we're linked with No, we've done that once.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't work.
But there is some talks going on about players today. We will get into all of that just to see what would have been or maybe has happened. Keep an eye on the Dexterity Box channel for the shorts of the transfers because we will put some shorts on there if we do sign players after this podcast has been recorded, and that'll be purely because we want to get your comments and it'll be on Twitter and stuff like that. We want to get all of your input so when we do the big sort of like, if we sign players, we'll do a big episode next week. Like, look at these players, let's look into them in depth sort of thing. And we will get all of your thoughts in there. So be vigilant of that.
Can you imagine what our transfer window would look like if we were allowed to spend money?
Definitely, because it's not looked too bad, to be fair to say. Do you know what's really funny? Sheffield Wednesday with money and without money are the same Sheffield Wednesday in terms of like how late and little we do our business. You know, we don't... When
do you remember the
money,
first season we had Chansiri? We were like, oh, we're not signing. And then it came to like 10 o'clock at night. It's like we signed everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. But just getting into the housekeeping as we start today, remember to DM for Discord links. Actually, also give us some topics. That would be ideal for the community part of the podcast. Membership's available below if you hit join on the YouTube. If you're not, if you want to know how to support us in other financial ways and you are an audio listener, if you use the PayPal, the PayPal, if you use things like that, make sure you drop us an email because we've had people ask us for that in the past and I've finally pulled my finger out with that as well. There's reviews, which are the nice free way to help us out. Spotify, if you listen to an episode for more than like 2 seconds, you can 5-star that. If you're a Spotify listener, every single episode, make sure you're doing that now. And with Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, you can leave the more in-depth written 5-star reviews and they will get read out on the podcast. Unfortunately, we've not had one since December. It's nearly it is February as of this podcast. So what's happening? What's happening? But no, it is good to see people back. Just saying, interesting titles on videos seem to work. Yep. I said they were coming back because they work. Because you know the channel needed some more eyes on it again, and all of a sudden people are coming back, and yet again the retention's great and it's good. So it's almost as if we might know what we're doing sometimes.
It's like someone the other day said to me, I can tell you've been working with James a lot. It's like, why? Well, you got quite clickbaity titles now.
Hey, I don't accept that.
I literally got someone say you didn't do these before you started doing podcasts.
I never did them at all, mate. And they're not really the thing is, they're never clickbaity, right?
No.
That's the thing that annoys me. Clickbait for me is when you're not talking about the thing that's in the title.
Yep.
Just because we do a clickbaity topic, like we discuss or speculate something that's probably a bit far-fetched.
It's not like in the video we're not talking about what's actually there.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So yes, all right, there was a time once where I put the Frank Lampard question mark because somebody messaged us about Frank Lampard at the time, and that did really well. But it's a speculation topic. Every outlet does it. We're just, and we're talking about what's in there. And I'll be honest, the selling one, there's no way that's clickbait. That's just a juicy title. Yeah. The selling thing is very... We're still hearing things like there's murmurs, boys and girls. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but...
Well, I had it on the Hunt one, so he said, oh, you scared me. I thought you meant Jack Hunt's now going as well. Like, no.
Yeah, and there's the wages thing and everything. It's all about just a well-placed title, isn't it, really? But anyway... As I say this at the start of the full podcast because you guys are the ones that watch the full podcast and you already know what we've talked about in the podcast, so does it really matter? No, it does not. Let's talk about the football then. So Sheffield Wednesday this week. Have I forgot something? How's your week been, Jake?
It's been good, mate. It's been very good. Managed to get a lot of things done. I'm a little girl's at that age where she wants to compete and do things and go to classes like dance classes and stuff. So I've been inquiring about all that kind of stuff and watching her like go, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then me and my wife going, bank balance says, yes, you can do that one.
I did say to you when I came over, I said,
did.
get that kid into the theatre.
Yes.
And I like that 2 weeks later you are shopping around theatres.
Pretty much.
But no, yeah, it's because she's got a lot of character to her, you know. She's switched on, like in terms of like comedy timing for a kid.
It was awesome. We'd had some new carpet laid in the hallway and stairs and had the carpet fitted in. She's going, you're doing a very good job, but you've missed all this bit here. And walked off.
No, yeah, she sasses you out well and proper.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite funny. Me and so found that very amusing.
How's your week been, mate?
I've been playing the new Pocket Monsters, so not too bad.
Is it any good?
It's very, very good.
Because Sarah wants it and I need to
I've
bite
got
her.
a little statue behind my head that came with the pre-order, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be you if you didn't get a special edition one, would it?
Yeah. I got a poster as well.
Oh.
I've got a lot of crap. This room is absolute dump because the work in the 6 days.
Yeah.
Where the things that I order or buy,
Did you
there's
get
a
put in
box
there?
here, there's a box there, there's just boxes everywhere. It's also Soph's birthday this weekend. So there's boxes around with gifts in that she's currently in the next room and she keeps going, what's in that? What's in that? And I'm like, if you open them, you're just going to ruin your birthday, even though she kind of knows what a main present
Well,
is.
happy birthday for her for the weekend.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that, sir. But yeah, it's been
you have
a good
missed one. You have missed one thing. Well, you got to get 30 watts this week if you're doing.
I have. We haven't had one for so long, so I'm not.
You got like 5 in February.
Yeah, well, I won't do them all because I do actually. Believe it or not, I would like to go to the football in the. I do like a good evening match, but I will do a couple of these dexterity watches. We will do. We'll start with the Morecambe one. We'll do that this Tuesday because we've not actually sat down and watched a match together in a very long time now, have we? So that would be nice. And then I think, let me just have a look at the calendar of that. I might go to the Wigan one, so I might not. I think I streamed the reverse fixture of that. In fairness,
You did.
Yeah, I might go to the Wigan one. Do I do the Rotherham one or do I go because it's on a Sunday at 12? And that means it's on TV.
Yep.
I might go to the Accrington Stanley one as well.
Not going to make the joke.
But then we're away at Fleetwood, so I could do that one as well.
Yeah.
I could do that one. So I could do like 2 or... If I go to Wigan and then Accrington Stanley, I could then stream Rotherham and Fleetwood, couldn't I, really, if you think about it?
Yeah.
And then I've got a nice balance. We'll see. But they help the channel massively as well. So, I will.
As soon as I saw the February fixture list, I was like, ooh, watch-alongs.
There is a chance I might do them all. I might sack off football for the month. It's Kel. I'll be an armchair. Sit there in my lovely plump armchair. Be like, oh, you know what? I'll just sit in my armchair and slag off Barry Bannon. Let's do that. Let's talk about the football this week, my friend. Sheffield Wednesday made it 9 games. 9 games. Unbeaten at Hillsborough. Not unbeaten in general. Let's not go too far.
Yeah, let's not go too far.
But it's a 1-0 win.
Yep.
Against Ipswich. Ipswich Town, a good side, finding their form.
They were second in the fall game. In the fall game.
Exactly.
First 5 minutes, they were a little bit all over us. And when we got that goal, it kind of sucked the life out of them a little bit. I think they were shocked that it happened. And the nice thing is, we kept on knocking on that door. Yeah, we were out with Lee Gregory, which, yes, it's a shame. But I think Canberra still does a good role in that kind of trying to hold the ball up, trying to link things up. Our only issue, again, and it's frustrating, not taking our chances when we could. because that happened at Oxford. Mendes Lang had so many chances where he could have gone for placement and he went for power. And Johnson getting the goal was great. But you know what the best thing about this game was for me? 3 actual centre-backs at centre-back positions.
Yeah.
It was so good to see because there's a bit in the first half where you could see a bit of the head was twitching off and you just hear Dean shout at one of the players going, switch, head on. And the player's like, oh, yeah, that's what we needed.
Yeah, no, we've said this, right? You know, and I'll be honest, people have been quite respectful recently in terms of the Darren Moore comments when we've been a bit more defensive of him, saying, I really like you guys, but you're defending him a bit too much. And I respect that, you know, that's the way to approach internet discourse, by the way, saying I respect the content, not having a pop, not going, you must be absolute idiots. That's a nice way to do it. So I'll always respond to that positively because that's decency, right? Yeah. But I've been saying it's not that he just does it out of choice playing him out of position. We've not had the players for it. We've had a lot of injuries. So the fact that we've signed centre-backs and they're playing at centre-back, it's
not
almost
as
if that's the plan.
That it's worked. It's like I did a video about like the tactical side of it this week, and up until I think it was like October, we were playing like 4 at the back, and then it went to this 3 at the back with players who weren't in the right positions. And it shows you how things... And Barry Bannon's hitting shots again from outside the box, and he looked like he got a target for goals. Yeah, because he's really level. The save.
Not everything seems to have to go through him at the minute, which is a lot still is, but it's getting a little bit better. It's
nice to be taking some of the pressure off him a little bit, so he can be a bit more free flowing. Yeah. I think Fizz had a good game. There are times where he does get a bit knocked off the ball, but Lang and Johnson on either side work perfectly. Absolutely. I really enjoy watching that guy.
I can't make my mind up on Johnson. I know he scored the goal, obviously, as well. So it's like, you just look at him and you go, you were crap for the first half of the season, in a lot of ways. And then he had a really good spell, and I said, I'll hold my hands up. He's a decent player. Yeah. And he's back into one of them form players. He's just a decent player. Isn't he? He's no special. Sorry, Marvin, please come on the podcast one day. But he's a decent, solid player.
If you look at what Darren Moore did in the first little window in the summer, he did a blinder with who he got in with no money. And Marvin Johnson just turned into auto players. He knows his role, he just gets on with it. Yes, he had to learn a new role. And at first he was a little bit dodgy, but then he got into it and he actually looked decent. And getting Lang in as well on the other side, it just makes... It feels like there's a balance. I know it's going a bit too early because of the game, but it feels like there's a balance there now, which we've not had since the start of the season.
Yeah. And the organisation, I was saying that we're going to talk a bit more about the Harlee Dean thing later. It's going to be its own topic. Obviously, it's probably the biggest transfer we've made this window. So
put it this way. If you look at the stats, they had 0 on target.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. Let's talk through the stats now. So we've had 11 shots to their 10. Ours were 4 on target. They weren't placing it, as Punk said, on target whatsoever. Again, possession, we had 35%.
It's that typical FIFA thing on the counter, though, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying, though. Like, when people dug me out in the past for saying we'd battered teams when we just have possession stats don't always say the yeah, okay, just saying. They had 587 passes to our 312. Their pass accuracy was 79%. We weren't very good at passing, and Bannon was culpable of that a little bit in this match. But we got the result. So
Mass really dug him out a bit in that game. He really, you could tell there were times where I think there was a pass that he tried to do to Hutch, didn't get to him, and as soon as it all thing, you saw Hutch like screaming at Baz.
You're not always going to have 10 out of 10 games, though, are you?
No,
and like. The problem is Bannon's awkwardly sits in that thing where, because we're paying him quite a lot, that if he has a bad game, everybody wants to
jumps
have
on
a
him.
pop. Yeah.
That's not fair. Don't jump on him. He's only tiny.
Had to go there, didn't you?
Yes,
had to go there.
Of course I did.
9 fouls to 7. Yellow card for us. 5 offsides to their 4. And even on corners. 5 all on corners.
The only thing that annoyed me about this game was Canberry. he just can't seem to, every time I've seen him, he just can't seem to time a run right for the offside trap. He gets caught every single time.
Actually, no, he's not that young, is he?
He's not that young. I think he's 24, 26 or something in between that. That was a big A cap.
So that would be 25 then, Jake. And also, he's 26.
There we go. But
no, hang on. I take it back. He's very young. He's 26. He's very young. He's very young. He's still got plenty of youth ahead of him.
What are you saying? He's the best young player like Harry Kane was for years for Tottenham?
No, I'm just saying 26 is a very good, not at all old age. That's all I'm saying.
That sounds good.
Right. Let's go to League One then. So that's
mental week.
Absolutely ridiculous week. Goals. And they start with Rotherham putting 2 past Crew Alexandra. I can never say it. Crew Alexandra. As Crew, who got a red card and lost 2-0 at home to Rotherham. Get this. Gillingham and Oxford played this week. This was at home for Gillingham. They scored 2 goals. Yeah, very solid. Oxford put 7 past them.
4 of them were penalties.
Yeah, there was it was ridiculous, the penalties.
Yeah.
They've used up all their penalties this season, Oxford, in that one game.
Gillingham had just appointed Neil Harris as their manager as well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Which is annoying because you waited a bit. Because we play them soon.
Yeah, they could get the new manager bounce. That could be a possibility. Plymouth kicking back a little bit after their really, really torrid time of form recently and beating Doncaster 3-1, and Doncaster were at home, so again, not great for Donny.
Donny took the lead in that, though.
Yes, but then they had 3 shipped past them, Jake.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell you've been doing a podcast with a Donny fan and looking at the positives.
To be fair, you look at who they just signed in the window, it's quite interesting. They just got something from Leon, of all places.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's an interesting one. Fleetwood Cambridge drew 1-1. Cheltenham got a red card, but they still managed to hold Wigan to a 0-0 draw at home. Bolton put 6 past Sunderland. Now, this is a bigger one because this resulted in Lee Johnson finally getting the sack there, despite Sunderland being in 3rd.
Yeah.
Right? Also, can I just congratulate, Danny Bath decided to not come to Wednesday. He got his first goal for Sunderland. He got it for Bolton. It was an amazing header, wasn't it?
It really was.
Diving header. Straight in.
Now, here's one
past
for
his
you.
own keeper.
The start of January, Lee Johnson was manager of the month for Sunderland for the league. And
the problem was, is we'd spoken to quite a few Sunderland fans about it because they were constantly talking about doing stuff because when Wednesday and Sunderland are going to play each other, and the thing I found in those conversations that was interesting is no matter how well they were doing, it's kind of like a Darren Moore situation in a way. They were never really fully behind him. They thought he should be doing better with the squad he had.
Yeah.
Right. So he was always having the fans' pressure on him, and that eventually, when you get 6 push past you by newly promoted Bolton, right? That's not going to go well for you. Kieran Lee running the show there as well.
Yep.
Could still do with that man in our midfield, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. But it's an interesting one, that, and I think they're about to get the signing of Jermaine Defoe.
Sunderland, yeah.
Yeah.
I did put a cheeky tweet out going, should we put a last minute bid in through? He's on a free, isn't he? Let's Gregory's could be in, Defoe up front. 39-year-old Defoe. FIFA transfer if I've ever seen one. Then we'll move on to MK Dons, who beat Wickham, Wickham were at home, 1-0. Yep. Wednesday obviously beat Ipswich. Burton away from home, beating Lincoln City 2-1. And Morecambe, Accrington Stanley drew 2-2. There's still more matches.
Accrington Stanley had 33 shots in that game.
That's football, though, isn't it? You don't always get it for the stats, as we've been saying. And Wimbledon, Shrewsbury.
You always say that wrong.
Do you know why? It's because the FIFA commentator used to do it. He used to be like, Burton 1, Shrewsbury Town 0.
I miss that.
Yeah. But they drew 1-1 with Wimbledon. So Rotherham are top of the table on 56 points. Wigan second on 55 and Sunderland in third on 54, yet they still sack their manager. So it'll be interesting.
Though, we did the same.
You're going to do the Dave Jones comparison that was floating around Twitter, aren't you? Yes,
we
you are.
We did do the same though.
Yes, we did.
I understand why they're doing it. This has just got to go in the right direction for them.
That might be why Darren Moore's not trying to get into the playoffs, because if he gets third, we'll sack him. If he starts hovering around third, it'd be like, right, let's follow type. You're off now. Let's bring in a Scouse to end the season. Why not? Right. Anyway, we'll see what happens in League One come Wednesday. Wednesday are not sitting pretty, to be fair. Still, we're in touching distance, but the results didn't go our way, unfortunately, at the weekend. So we need to keep putting points on the goal.
Month.
It is. It's massive. Into the news now. So we were talking about John-Jules, Tyreece John-Jules on loan, and it's been confirmed that we have signed striker from Arsenal, Tyreece John-Jules, on loan until the end of the season, as we were speculating last week. So if you want to really hear what we had to say on the speculation about Tyreece John-Jules, because we've not really seen him, obviously.
Yep.
So
well, he played a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, I know, but we've not really seen...
not much out of him yet.
It's glimpses, do you know what I mean? So it's like, we'll have to wait probably until next week, and if we see him a bit more, get a bit more game time.
He may start tomorrow.
Yeah, could do.
Or
could do.
Tuesday, or today.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Quickly, stay on this channel.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I've just realised I've got to make this room presentable to stream in.
The man who said he's got no time got the tidy.
Oh, no. I've got to do a load of prep work tomorrow as well. The pain. Come in and super chat me lots of money. That would be appreciated. Right. Anyway, yeah. We've brought him in. Let's move on to the next news story. Yep. Nothing to add there, really. This is the big one. So, this is an interesting one because the fan base this player came from, we're quite happy to see him go. Now, we have signed Harlee Dean, who has already played for Wednesday, obviously.
Yep.
Let's take this from Wednesday. So, this is from the Wednesday website. Quote, the central defender joins from Championship side Birmingham and follows Jordan Storey and Tyreece John-Jules into Hillsborough in the January transfer window. Dean brings a wealth of experience to S6 with over 400 senior appearances to his name. The 30-year-old began his career in the youth system at Dagenham and Redbridge and cut his teeth with a series of temporary moves before signing for Southampton in 2010. It was on the books of Brentford, though, where Dean's career took off after linking up with the Bees, initially on loan the following year. The Basingstoke product will go on to become the mainstay in the backline, making 224 appearances for the London club. He was named captain by head coach Dean Smith ahead of the 2016-17 season and lifted the Supporters Player of the Year award at the end of the season. So, popular at Brentford, not so popular at Birmingham, apparently falling out with a manager, that sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing. At Birmingham, he won Player of the Year last year and kind of thing. So,
yeah.
It feels like it's definitely a fallout with the manager. And
I think it's
leaked.
that he's got too much influence in the dressing room, and if the manager doesn't see eye to eye with him, that's never going to work, is it?
Yeah. It's a weird one because I've seen all the stuff from Birmingham fans and what they said, but when I love a lot of Wednesday thing, we need a defender, so we're not bothered as long as he comes in and he appears and he does the job. In
fairness, some of their fans have been saying he'll do a job in League One, to be fair. Yes, of course he would. We knew that. We knew he weren't going to come in. If we had been in the Championship, we're like, right, that's a very basic signing. But for League One, it's a classic bit of astute business because the experience he comes with, right? You know, for the past 4 seasons, he's not... Right, okay, no, sorry. The past 3 seasons...
He's a Rob Jones-style signing.
For the past 3 seasons, he's always made over 40 appearances. Yeah. You know, he's got, and that's in the Championship, he's got that experience. There's rarely been a season where he's not made over 40. Yeah.
I didn't like his interview with one of the journalists, though, because they asked him about, injuries and stuff. He said, I've never had a small tissue injury. I was like, shut up!
Yeah. Don't you realise there's voodoo under these training grounds? You'll be out with 3 of them next week in all different parts of your body, mate. Let's just, before we go into this fully, let's do the FIFA bit, right? We didn't do the FIFA bit with Harlee Dean. He's a silver We've got another silver. Do you remember when we had golds?
Yeah, they were the days.
Kieran Westwood was like our last one clinging to that gold for ages as well.
It's also interesting that he's still not got a club.
Cheers.
I know he's training at Crewe.
Where? Shrew.
Crewe.
Right. Shrew.
Okay.
Interesting. Sorry, that's such a right. 71 silver centre back, 53 pace, 33 shooting, 46 passing, 54 dribbling, 71 defending, and 75 physical. Don't know how good he'd be in the meta. I don't know if I'd use him. Said 53 pace is not. He's not very good. However, in real life, that doesn't matter, does it?
Nope.
Is it time to give Darren Moore some credit for these sort of signings, bringing in players like this that he obviously they're coming into play for the manager, and get some game time. And he is Birmingham's captain, by the way.
But yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
He had the armband taken off him, but he was the captain. While he was.
I think it's very interesting with you saying like the whole player situation, manager situation. It's obviously something him and Bowie have not seen eye to eye, and it's just gone off. But on that, how much would you like to have in Birmingham fans in that derby game?
Did you hear the chants in that derby game?
Yes, I did.
Christ. I mean, I don't laugh at another club's misfortune. And again, I'm saying like I don't hold the bitterness towards Derby fans. Like their club we got rinsed over the coals, and they actually cheated, legitimately 100% lapped up the cheating. But like the chance where that time when you were like, oh well, hopefully it looks like Derby will be saved. Somebody will come in for him. They've got to, If
you're hoping so.
If you don't, they don't. And then it would just be the fact that them chants are really quite funny.
The only thing that annoys me with Derby is the old and Wayne Rooney, Derby County.
Yeah,
no, they're Derby County.
That's the
Wayne
thing,
Rooney.
though, that we've got that generation of stripping it out. Like I think they tried to do it with Gerrard at Villa, and that is not going down because Villa are bigger than Gerrard. I'm sorry, Gerrard's massive.
They'll do it with Everton now with Lampard.
If we sign, can you imagine? I would be sick in my mouth if we had like a Lampard or something, or or Rooney came to us and they started calling us Rooney Sheffield Wednesday. I'd be like, no.
It's like when they say Sheffield. Same.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go to our community thoughts on this. So we put a tweet out about the Harlee Dean signing in the smallest font ever by the looks of it. So just let me put my focals on. Right. So Matt SWFC responded to us saying, on the face of it, he's a really good signing, but the problem I have is that he's basically a move to try and help us get into the playoffs, which might work, but if that fails to get us promoted, all of these players would be gone next season along with the likes of Luongo. So whilst this is a good, smart move, I don't see it working in the long term. He's not played since November, was deemed not good enough for Birmingham, so I guess it depends on how Darren Moore uses him, which doesn't fill me with much confidence. Good for the short term, though. And Matt, to be honest, that's what I think he's here for. Obviously, there's so many... We've said from the start of the season, we're trying to go up this season.
Yeah.
End of. That is the goal. Get straight back up to the championship. So this is where the time you make the short-term moves. And also, if we'd have signed him on a permanent, I'd have been a bit more concerned.
Yeah.
Because you're then taking all the risk if you don't go up and he's on championship wages. So for me, it's a smart bit of business on those things. But I do hear you saying it is short-term thinking, but we've got to think short-term because...
We've only got a short-term.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think half of these players are going to stick around anyway if we don't go up? Or even if we do go up, do you think we're not going to get rid of half of these players? It's how the game works. They get a nice bonus for getting us up, and then they go off.
And if we don't go up, we're going to have that second season rebuild again.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
And by the way, when you say second season rebuild, you mean, oh dear, this is where the club start, because the longer you're away from it, the worse it is,
Yeah.
Wednesday don't usually spend more than a couple of seasons out of the top flight. Second flight.
We haven't been in the Premier League for ages.
We haven't. It's true. Well done. Martin Bradshaw wrote in and said, should have had him 4 to 5 years ago. Always seemed to drive his team on when playing against us. Reckon he'll do well here once he's up to speed. He did well in his first match. So, yeah. Callum Breeze wrote in and went, reasonable Wednesday fan, quote, great news, we need defensive reinforcements, quote, Wednesday fan on Twitter, more out. Fair enough. Tickety Boo wrote in and said, great signing, one Carlos should have made back when we needed a new defender and blew our lot on Van Aken at the time. Guy's a natural leader who does the basics well. Ben Goddard wrote in, a bit like the Flint signing last year for me, great acquisition, just hope he stays fit. So I can't disagree with much of that about him being a good one for the short term, and
on the Van Aken one, Van Aken's now just been released, so we did really well on those 200 defenders we looked at and then got him.
Van Aken's a bit lightweight. That's the issue with Van Aken.
Yeah.
Van Aken's quite good on the ball. He's quite good.
He did one appearance at his latest club.
Van Aken should retrain as a fullback, in my opinion.
The thing is, when we were looking at Harlee Dean, they only wanted 5 million for him.
And we spent 10 on Jordan Rhodes.
Yeah.
When we needed desperate. That's the thing, though. Even though I was happy with Jordan Rhodes, of course I would, because he scored goals. Anyone in that Carlos side could tell what we needed up front was pace.
Yep.
We just weren't signing pace because we relied on the likes of Forestieri to bring that bit of spark in from creative midfield. But we didn't have pace up front. We needed a pacey striker. Do you know, if we'd have signed someone like Britt Assombalonga or those sort of players, I reckon we'd have been all right.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harlee Dean, I'm quite happy with that one. We'll see how he plays out. So, obviously at the minute, Lee Gregory is injured. We don't know.
He got a toe injury.
Do we have a time scale on it?
I've been seeing stuff that he could be back in about a week or so with injections and stuff. It depends what we do.
Is he the one that was I think it was Miller from the start was going, it could be a long-term one, an injury for a key man, or was he saying it was long-term? I don't know.
He did too, because he was in the next story, he kind of did too, but he's put key man out for this game, and it was referring to Lee Gregory.
Oh, but the other one is this one that we're going into now.
Yes.
Dennis Adeniran tweeted the following, quote, recovering from an operation to resolve an ongoing issue, gutted that it looks like my season is over, but I will be back stronger next season. The Wednesday fans have been absolutely amazing since I joined the club in the summer, and I can't wait to play at Hillsborough again. So
he's done his ACL.
Not great. Not great. It's how you fight back from that, though. Does mean that he's going to have to kick on for us next. If we get promoted, Adeniran's going to... It's unfortunate for... It's fortunate for him if we don't go up and away. Well, we don't want us to go up because he'll get a lot of football next season if he come back firing. But if we go up, it's one of those where he might have missed his chance with us, depending on if he comes back and really gets his head down, because he's got so much potential. But Wednesday don't tend to do that. We tend to think, they're not doing it for the now. Let's sack him off, make a bit of cash. Yeah,
it's a shame because he shows so much potential at the start of the season, and he dropped off with getting these little niggly injuries. So get it fixed properly now. Let's see what happens and go from there. Yeah,
that's how I think on that one. Darren Moore's been talking to post-match and that. I think this is from the Star. Talking about Massimo Luongo. We'll take it from the Star here. Quote, the Australian international, who is a standout Wednesday player but has battled a remarkable run of injury problems since he arrived at South Yorkshire in the summer of 2019, is out of contract at the end of the current campaign. Speaking to the Star, Owls boss Darren Moore admitted nothing had been decided on Luongo's future, and that being able to play a consistent part in the next few weeks will give the club a better idea of where things are at. Quote from Darren Moore himself on here, and I've said to Mass that he has to continue with the way he's going. He's getting stronger and stronger. There's a fixture list coming up where that continuity of games will be there. Mass just wants to get back to playing football to the level and playing his consistent best. We know the qualities that Mass has. We just want him to do it over a consistent part of it, and then we can have a look. End quote. I added Erms in there because that was my natural stammer.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually doing the Darren Moore Erms. But yeah.
It's an interesting one.
And we can't give him a new deal. This is one where we might just have to suck it up and let him go on a free. Yes, he's great, but the injuries, Jesus Christ, man.
Without those injuries, you probably lose him at being a League One player to someone in the Championship.
Yeah. But it's that rock and a hard place, because if he does really well and we don't get promoted, he's off.
We need to be starting to look for his replacement now, though, while the transfer window's fresh and seeing who's there. Because
Mass isn't that old. He's not.
I think he's 28.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he was 28 when we signed him.
No,
because 28 rings a bell with Mass.
Was he 26 when we signed him?
He's 29.
Yeah.
He's 29.
It's also, when you look at our age, we've got like one second oldest squads in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to be going, even if we're going up to championship, you're needing to be playing week in, week out. And can he do that? Because we've not seen it.
Well, we've not seen it, have we? So
since he's been here, we've not seen it. That's the thing. Since he's been at the club, he's not really had a full season where he's not been injured.
Yeah, we need to see it. Darren Moore spoke perfectly there. We need to see the consistency that he can do it on a regular basis, keep himself injury free, and get on with it. You know, that would be fantastic, really. Going on about players again. Oh God, we're coming towards the end of the podcast, and it's only like 40 minutes in. Not even that.
It's flown.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe people should write community topics in again, and then we'll get the podcasts. People always talk about we want longer podcasts, and I'm like, give us some stuff to talk about, guys, with news, community speculation, and the community part. If you don't always give us the length of topics, we can't. They're not always on YouTube now, by the way. They're on Discord, they're on Twitter. Make sure you're getting active with that. Make sure you're in there. Make sure you're emailing us. We appreciate that. Get your topics in. Give us interesting things to talk about. But yeah, transfer deadline day, as we say, as we're recording this, Lewis Wing was in talks to go to Portsmouth. This was originally from Yorkshire Live. Yeah. Not going to read any of the quotes out from that article, but basically Yorkshire Live was saying that Portsmouth were in for him. I think that's actually from Football Insider that they've taken it from there, but whatever. It's not happening. Portsmouth one is not happening because Portsmouth didn't want to pay his full whack.
But make you wonder what we're paying.
Alex Miller's just tweeted, similar to reports elsewhere, understand Borough were open to extending Lewis Wing's Wednesday loan, but only the proviso new suitor matched. Only if the proviso new suitor matched Al's very high wage contribution. So it looks like he's staying.
Yeah.
Because
to be fair, I'm not. People were saying on Twitter going, oh, get him gone, he's not good. The thing is, you look at that first team, especially midfielders. Shadipo, he's a winger, but he's injured. Adeniran's injured. Barry Bannon, Byers is coming back from an injury. Fizz, Marvin Johnson, Massimo with an injury record, that's not great. And then you've got Wing. You need to have Wing there. And you've got Hunt and Mendes-Lamb while Hunt's out.
Yeah.
I think we have to keep Wing. Even if he's not playing, we need the cover. We've got 9 games or 8 games in February. Is Matt going to be able to play all them?
We've just got too many loan players, mate. You can only name 5 in the squad. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's...
And where does he sit? Where does he sit in that with fit midfielders? He doesn't make it into the squad, does he?
Yeah, but
that's the side of it I'm seeing. Like
the worry I've got is just the fact that we don't have the cover if anything does happen if he went.
I get it, but I don't really want to pay his wages if we're not going to use him. But I guess it's handy to have it for the cover. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I do get what you're saying. Go on.
I just don't rely on Matt being able to do a full February. And I know I want him to. I really do, but we keep getting these little niggly injuries in midfield. Yeah,
we do. You're dead right with that, in fairness. And I also realise we've got a couple more topics to talk about because we added some in, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did.
So, this is from the Star. Quote, Sheffield Wednesday submits plans for a new artificial pitch and floodlighting to be open, quote, 7 days a week. Sheffield Wednesday Football Club is hoping to create a new artificial grass pitch that helps its community groups train. The new pitch and floodlighting will be built at Jubilee Sports and Social Club on Claywheels Lane and will be open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Consultancy Grassroots Planning says in its application, quote, Sheffield Wednesday competes within League One and has a number of men and women's football. Yeah, all right, okay. End quote. Paraphrasing. Didn't need that information. We knew that as Wednesday fans. Quote, while Sheffield Wednesday's offices are based on the training ground to the southwest of the Jubilee ground, there is only one artificial grass pitch available on the site, which is used on a daily basis by the first team and academy. This means the rest of the club, including the education and community programmes, as well as the grassroots teams, are unable to access these grounds easily for their training. The community programme has to train on numerous sites across the city, which is difficult operationally and costs significant amounts of money. As such, they are looking to consolidate their operations onto the Jubilee site, end quote. Let's just get our initial thoughts on this here before we go into like the pitch and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't really need to go into the pitch. We're going to who's paying for it and stuff like that. But tell me what your thoughts on this are.
I think this makes a lot of sense because, yes, you do get it where the community side do some work at Middlewood, but Middlewood tiny. And wouldn't surprise me if this is where some of our injuries are coming from. And then logistically trying to find base for them to go train, go play, especially on the women's side, it's finding the thing. So if they've got a permanent place where they can go and do things, it makes sense.
This is not what they're saying though specifically, is it? Unless I'm misreading it. They're not closing Middlewood.
No, they're not closing Middlewood, but we do a lot of our... all the academies are at Middlewood sometimes.
Yeah,
a lot of the community stuff.
What I'm trying to say is technically this doesn't solve our injury crisis at Middlewood because we'll still be training at Middlewood.
It doesn't solve it, but we may be able to shift some things that are not all getting done at Middlewood. That's what I'm saying, because sometimes you'll get some of the games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean? That is true. It's land that we've been able to buy.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the idea. You look at the bigger clubs in the modern day, they've got these hubs, football hubs where you can take your kids and you can book them on days, or they can go and train, they can play the pitches, they can do that. There's usually a gym somewhere, things like that, and it's all around the club, you know, and it's from the grassroots up. Sheffield Wednesday need to be on this. We need to be starting to do this sort of thing.
The more land we can pick up to do these little community hubs, the better.
Yeah, definitely. We need more of a... I'll be honest, when I was a kid, and I think it's different now, but when I was a kid, I didn't feel like the club was that accessible.
No.
I didn't feel like I could do things. I went on the community day things and stuff, you know, and the community half terms occasionally. But like, I didn't feel like there was much from the club itself, you know.
Because if you do the community stuff now in the summer holidays, it's all at Middlewood. So if they're doing all the stuff on Middlewood and then you've got the pros coming back after they've had the holidays, it could be a reason why we're getting some injury. We don't know. Let's be honest. We need to do a full... I know we've already done like a full investigation on why the injuries are happening, but I think we need another one on Middlewood itself and how we fix it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Let's talk about how, the payment for the pitch. So this is from the Star again, quote, Sheffield Wednesday are hoping to receive grant funding from the Football Foundation, a charity by the Premier League, the Football Association and central government. The charity aims to provide outstanding football facilities across the country to improve local communities and increase opportunities for people from deprived backgrounds. Grants range from smaller items such as new football kits right through to improving existing stadiums. The Football Foundation is supportive of SWFC's plans and will decide whether to award funding to deliver the project in July 2022 if planning permission is granted. So, means we won't get hit with financial fair play as much for this one because we're looking at alternatives to the funding like everybody else makes.
I'm not going to lie, I heard stadium and my ear peaked up and went, ooh. But no, it's not for that kind of stuff. That's going to come from Chancery.
It's actually, I looked at it again, where it is fully and thinking about it, and it's actually in a really good position for parents to drop their kids off as well. Because if you think about it, it's near the Institute of Sport, it's near the ice rink, and it's near Meadowhall. So...
Drop your kids off, go do some shopping.
Yeah, that's what genuinely I looked at it and I thought, I was like, oh, it's not that close to Hillsborough. I mean, it's close enough to Hillsborough, but it's not like on our doorstep. But it's more in the hub where the community would be of Sheffield, you know?
Yeah.
So, for me, it's not a bad position.
Do more detailed ideas,
I
Sheffield.
wasn't
like the
winking
idea.
then, by the way, audio watchers. I had something in my eye.
Video watchers.
Yeah, video watchers.
You
Jesus
said audio
Christ.
watchers. I don't know how they're going to be looking at your eyes.
Christ. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm reading at the same time as I do this.
Yeah.
But any additional thoughts on this one, mate?
Just hopefully go through. We get planning permission, and if this works out as a first trial one, try do more of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that would. We don't really. If we build a big enough one, though, we don't need many, do we, mate?
It depends how big we build it, doesn't it? And
Yeah, we've not got much money, Jake.
yeah, and I know.
What are
we
you
haven't-
expecting us to do? Build Wednesday hotels?
No,
Wednesday restaurants?
I just like the idea of doing these little hubs and getting more community-based stuff. Because
I get it. I agree.
You look what the other side does. They do a lot of community stuff. We don't do that good on that side.
We've got better over the years.
Oh, we got a lot better than we used to be.
But no, I think it's a good thing. Let us know what you think. Have you seen that Everton have signed Dele Alli?
Have they? Is that a permanent as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good move.
Free transfer.
No, gee. Oh, is he out of contract in summer?
12 million after 12 million euros after 20 games.
Jeez.
It could go up to 35, 40, but it depends on add-ons.
That was a good day.
Interesting. Yeah. Talking about a Wednesday transfer here, though. So, again, from the Star, this is doing the rounds on everyone, but we've got the Star up, so we'll go with it. This might not happen, or it could be one that happens. Does the loan window extend a little bit? It doesn't in January, does it? Or does it?
So. I can't remember.
Can you get emergency loans in? I think you can get emergency
I
loans
think you
in.
can get emergency loans.
If it's not happened, it might still happen. We'll see. Quote, Sheffield Wednesday linked with surprise move for American international Owen Otasowie. The Owls have had a quiet deadline day so far. Yes, thank you. We have. Otasowie, who made his senior... I'm just paraphrasing now. Otasowie, who made his senior debut for the USA national team last year, has made the move to Club Brugge in Belgium over the summer. However, he's yet to make his debut for the Belgian Giants, despite having made a handful of senior appearances for Wolves in the 2021 season. Sky Sports have reported the Owls, as well as Barnsley and AAK Athens, have shown the interest in the defensive midfielder, though it remains to be seen if anything will come out of it currently at the time of recording this, end quote. So,
is this the possible math if you get injured position?
Yeah.
It is,
What we were saying earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were saying, like, if we're bringing him in on loan, Lewis Winger's got to go back, surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
We've got to just turn and say we got this in. We
There's
said it all season.
There's some fans that are going to be going, why are we after another midfielder again? More of a defensive midfielder too.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a bit about his history then. So he's 21. He was born in New York City. He's a 6'2". He's played as a New Yorker. He's played as a defender and a midfielder. He started at the Mass Elite Academy apparently in his youth career, and then went to West Ham. So he basically came over.
Yeah.
And trained, which I respect, and then went to Wolves for 2 years of his youth career and then played 6 times for them last season, then signed for Club Brugge. He's played 3 times for the under-18s for USA, and he has made his national team debut. He was signed for $3.5 million by Club Brugge, so they rated him a little bit for the future.
But the fact, what worries me that why has he not managed to get in that team yet?
Well, he only played for Wolves. This is deceptive because he didn't play for Wolves, right? They're reporting here he played for Wolves. They're not reporting that he played for their bloody under-21s in the Paint Cup.
Ah.
It's not the Paint Cup anymore, is it? It's the Pizza Cup.
Yeah.
It's not the Milk Cup either.
It's not all the cups I keep saying. Now.
Yeah, I can't believe you thought that they were all different tournaments. But no, those seasons he's played in the EFL Trophy, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, he did. He made 7 appearances for them in the league as well. I can't read. Yeah, he's made 7 appearances for them in the league. Mainly sub-appearances.
Can you remember our last American player?
Yes, Aguchi Onwenu. Is that how you say his name?
I'm not going to try and do it. Are you daft? I can't
I
even
think
do
he
the
was
one
our,
that...
he was our last. He was our last.
And after that, it was Frankie Simic.
You thought it was Frankie Simic. You forgot about Aguchi Onvu, hadn't you? Yeah.
And I looked it up.
I remember. I remember because he was like, Sheffield Wednesday, a massive club, man. You know, you got to come here and big bald-headed centre-backs. We had a thing for him. Anyway, Otasowie, let's go to the FIFA. He is even a rare gold, 61 overall, central defensive midfielder on Ultimate Team, 59 pace, 46 shooting, 57 passing, 61 dribbling, 57 defending, 67 physical. I hate my life that these players are that bad on the game I enjoy. And that is Wednesday. Yep. I think that's where we'll end that topic. Let us know what you think on Otasowie potentially becoming a Sheffield Wednesday player. Is he a Sheffield Wednesday player? We will see.
This may be one to ones that get breaks out of the shop.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, because it's looking, the rumours are that we are in for him there. It's probably going to be a loan. Would he want to go for, I think, because if Barnsley are in for him, would he want to go to bottom of the Championship and struggling, or pushing for the playoffs in the league below? If you think about experience there, I'd go to Wednesday in that situation, but I'm
There's
biased.
a joke there, but I'm not making it.
Let's move on. And let's move on to the end of the show, Jake. Have you got anything to add? Because that's all from me today, mate.
Are we not doing next match?
I always forget. It's because we veered off the document. We veered off the document to add the stories in, didn't we?
We did.
Next match, Sheffield Wednesday versus Morecambe. Dexterity Watch, make sure you join us. Morecambe are currently 21st in League One. They have 27 points with a record of 7 wins, 6 draws and 14 losses. They're averaging a point per game this season.
Yeah.
Which is not enough to keep you up, really. Their home record is 5 wins, 4. One of them was against us as well. 4 draws, 6 losses, 19 points. Their away record, however, this has got to be a Sheffield Wednesday win, and I'm saying that now, it's not going to be, is it? Because they've only got 8 points on the road. They've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 8 times. Their away form is causing them issues this season. They've got a minus 15 goal difference. They've scored 38 and conceded 53. The last match they did draw with Accrington Stanley. So, you know.
It'll be interesting. It's a must win. Got to win it.
Got to win it. Wednesday aren't in a position to be messing around with this anymore, you know. We are...
The potentially 21 points to play for in February with the games we've got.
I love when the fixture list gets congested like this. Because
I love it, but I don't like it with our injury record.
No. But if you look at Morecambe's recent form, I'm looking at it now, like, they beat Wickham. So they are coming on. It's not too bad, to be fair. Draw, win, loss, draw, win, loss. Which means they've got draw, win, loss, draw, win, loss. Is it a draw?
Yeah. It also depends what happens on this last deadline day, because they could lose their main goal scorer, Cole Stockton. And if he goes, they are in real big trouble.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday are now 6 points off the playoffs. We have got a game in hand on Oxford, but
we only got like a 5 goal difference and everyone else is in like double figures.
Yes, that's the issue. Oxford have got a 17 goal difference. We've got a 5 goal difference. Plymouth have got a 12 goal difference. I think the 7-2 might have helped Oxford there. Wickham have got a 12 goal difference. MK Dons 16. Sunderland 14. Wigan 23. Rotherham 30. Rotherham really do know how to be a good League One club, don't they? And then they really know how to do well at getting relegated from the Championship as well. But they have got, they've become masters of going up. Like
the West Brom from a couple of seasons ago. They used to do Championship, Premier League, Championship, Premier League. That's how it's always been with them.
MK Dons are signing players again by the looks of it. Kane Kessler now.
Jesus.
Did you see them sign Connor Wickham? Did we talk about this last week?
I believe we did.
Did we?
On the game at the weekend, Corbin went off for Wickham and somebody went, oh look, Wednesday play for Wednesday play. Former Wednesday play for former Wednesday player.
Yeah. Yeah. Ipswich Town have added Nick Hayes to the ranks, apparently, goalkeeper.
Yorogidi has gone out on loan from Celtic. He's gone to Belgium. Ostona. KV Ostona. I think that's how you say it. Probably not.
Definitely not. Yeah. We we will see what happens on transfer deadline day. I'm going to eat some food, edit this podcast, and keep an eye on it. But join us for Dexterity. Me on camera. Punk will be in the chat.
I will be in the chat.
For Dexterity Watch for Morecambe. Let's see if Wednesday can kick on. But for me, that's it. Have you got anything to add just last minute?
If we bring anyone in, let's see what happens. But it's been a good transfer window for us, considering the restraint we got. And let's just try and kick on and get into the playoff now.
Indeed. That's been it for this episode of Talking Wednesday. We will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.